Hello, first graders. Welcome back. Yesterday, we were talking a lot about snap words and how important it is for you as a first grader to know how to read and write your snap words quickly. When you write words in a snap, it means you can write them without thinking much about them. You just know them. And to know them, you need to practice them. So often, when we think about words that are difficult or harder or bigger words like Tyrannosaurus or rainbow or beautiful, we think of these are the words being the words that kids often make mistakes in their writing. But actually, it's those words that we don't think much about that we think are so easy. They're the ones that we commonly misspell over and over again. Like this is the word eat. Often, when I'm reading a paper and someone writes the word eat, they spell it EET. Can you see how there's something wrong with that word? I bet it hurts your eyes right now because I know we've been practicing that one a lot. This second E is actually an A, so it should be EAT. The EA makes the E sound in the word eat. Another common misspelling that first graders will often make is the word going. The, the sneaky W will sneak in the middle of the word because when you say it, go wing, you hear the what sound. But actually, there is no W. It's just G-O, go, and then I-N-G, going. So today we're going to go through some words that are commonly misspelled words, and we're going to correct them. Often I'll find that kids will write the word school like this. Do you see what's wrong with that word? So if you're thinking the K doesn't look right, you're right. It sounds right, sk for school, but actually you're going to take out the K and put a CH. SCHOOL, school. That's much better. And the word could. Could she come over to our house? Could. Sometimes kids will spell it with an O, like look. But actually, could is always COULD. You don't even hear the L in that word. Could. Another word that sometimes is misspelled is the word wait. Can you please wait for me at the bus stop? Wait. Well, I see the word ate in this word, but guess what? There's another combination that makes the eight sound. It is AIT. So this word says wait. And another word that we use quite a bit in first grade, and it's a tricky one because it's got lots of letters, is the word because. Many people write it with because with a UZ at the end because that's what you hear, but actually it's spelled like this: BECAUSE. Because. So, if easy words and snap words aren't always how they sound, how are they going to memorize all these words? Well, practice for one thing. And another way is sometimes we think of little tricks to figure out words. So, I'm going to go through a couple of those with you. So, this first word is said. The teacher said it is important to sit on your pockets and listen. Or your mom and dad said you have watched too much TV. Time to go play outside. Said. Well, it sounds like said, like an E, but actually the word said is spelled like this: SAID. How am I going to remember to spell the word said like this instead of this? Well, one trick is to think about when I say something, I have said it. And say is SAY. Say. Say and said both start the same way. They both start with an SA. So whenever you have something to say and you've said it, you need to remember that it's always going to be SA. So that is one little trick to remember that word. I'm going to write some common words here. I'm going to write the word here. I am sitting right here in my living room teaching you today. You are sitting over there. There. And somebody might ask, where are you sitting? Where? What do you notice about all these words? Is there some way to remember how to spell the words here, there, and where? If you look at each of the words, they all have the word here in them. H-E-R-E, H-E-R-E, H-E-R-E. So when you say here, it's just H-E-R-E. When it's there, think of your thumb and you have a T-H in the beginning. And where has a w sound before the here. Here, there, where. They're all very similar. That's one way to remember how to spell those sight words. Now, I was thinking about this word. This is a common word, too, that we often come into. It's the word bed. And for some reason, this is just a tricky word because often I think people get the B and the D mixed up. How do you remember how to do that? Well, here is a good way. If you think of a bed, there is the foot part and the headboard, like this. And if you look at a bed, it's kind of shaped like the word bed. It goes up on the ends and down in the middle. You could put a person right here sleeping in their bed, just like this one. Another word that's really tricky, I think this is tricky for older kids too. I've learned how to do this word, but actually sometimes adults can make this mistake too if they're not thinking. It's the word there. There are two theres. T-H-E-R-E spells there, and also T-H-E-I-R spells there. Well, how will I know which one to use? Well, one talks more about, you use it when you're talking about a place or a spot, and the other you use when you're talking about people. So when I think about a place, I often think of the word where. And if I'm thinking about a place, like you are over there, it would be this one because it has the same spelling, almost like where. It's got the word here in it. If we're talking about a person, it would be who, like whose is it? It is their backpack or their bus or their house. That is a very tricky one. That's a hard one to remember. So think about where and there, how they're the same, and how this there is for a place. The last word that is often common, and it's a short word, it's just got 3 letters, but it's the word saw and the word was. Sometimes kids will get those two mixed up. How can I figure that out? We have to think about where is the S when you're saying the word. Is it at the beginning of the word or is it at the end of the word? If you said, I saw the black and white dog, saw starts at the beginning. So it's going to start with the S that time. But if I said, there was a black dog on my step, was, then the S was is at the end. W-A-S. And that's also a tricky word because often people want to spell the word was like this. This is how it sounds, right? But we know that's not right because was is always spelled WAS. So it's very important if you're making mistakes in your writing that you keep practicing your snap words. And reading and writing your snap words are very, very important, especially when you're in first grade because you're learning all these skills for your future reading. So remember your snap words and think about practicing them over and over. And if you get to a word that's hard, you just need to go over and practice it more and more. Don't just throw it aside. Think about what's a good way I can remember how to spell that word. And the more you practice, the better you will get. You can go on. I have two phonics activities because the one is really short. So once you're done with this video, you may just go to your two different phonics activities for today. Have a good day.